Hello and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys enjoy today's video. It's a fun one I have up my sleeve for you guys, and you probably already know what it is because of the title, obviously. But we're going to be looking at how to dispose of bamboo toothbrushes properly. So a lot of us get a bamboo toothbrush knowing that it's compostable. Maybe some of you just get a bamboo toothbrush because you like it. Either way, it's biodegradable and compostable, which is just fantastic because that means that you can dispose of your toothbrush in a very sustainable way. Yay! Woo woo! I know I was when I learned that you could get toothbrushes that were compostable and biodegradable. It was just like an oh my gosh moment. A bit of a fangirl moment for me. Anyway, it's a really hot day today. And when I say really hot, for most people, it's not even that hot. It's like 29 degrees. But it's just super hot because I have the windows closed, so there's no fresh airflow going in. So if you just see my lip just slowly building up with the Sula, or my hair sticking to my face as the video goes on, you know why. But let's get back to why we're all here today. So I have not one, not even two, but 4 toothbrushes. Not all my own. A couple are my sister's boyfriends, and then one is mine, and then one is my sister's. So I have 4 toothbrushes to compost today. So I've been collecting them. I've been meaning to do this video for a while. They've been sitting on my bench just waiting to be composted. So finally getting around to it. Now if you do get a bamboo toothbrush, they recommend only using it for up to 6 months, or dentists recommend having any toothbrush for only 3 months. So it's up to you. Low-key, I kept mine for a year because I didn't want to bother having to remove the bristles to then compost it, but I'll get to that later. So you probably don't need to go for as long as me. Though this is what's happened to my toothbrush. I know. Ah! It's just like completely used and past its use by date. It's like one of those like scream moments when you're just like dun, 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 dun. But it was still doing the job of cleaning my pearly whites. So I kept using it for a while. But the thing is, you get rid of a toothbrush probably on the earlier side. Don't want my Sula. So that's why they recommend like disposing of your toothbrush on the more earlier side rather than the year side, because bacteria builds up on the toothbrush, and as you can see, the bristles themselves just start to wear and tear and they start to fall out and things. So it's best to sort of replace and dispose of your toothbrush on the 3 to 6 month mark. But judge off what you want to do with it. It's always up to you. Just it's recommended to do it within that time frame. Oh, and by the way, you can find all the step-by-step instructions of how to dispose of your toothbrush in a sustainable and proper way in the description below. I've written a blog post on it, so if you don't want to watch this whole video and you just want to skip to the end and see how to do it, you can find it in the description below. But I do hope you join us today in looking at the live tutorial version of how to dispose of your toothbrush. Let's get started in how to look at how to dispose of your bamboo toothbrush properly. So step number 1 is you can upcycle your toothbrush. Really cool. There are a few awesome ideas. You can actually get your toothbrush once you've removed the the bristles part. You can pop it into your garden and have write what that plant that you're growing in your garden is, and this can be a little signpost telling you what that plant is. So rather than having like a plastic little sign, you can use your old toothbrush just with writing whatever the plant is, its name, on your toothbrush. You can stick it in the ground and it works as a wonderful sign for what that plant is. And you can have like heaps of them around your garden. Great plastic free way of having postage and signs up in your garden. And because bamboo is like really resilient, that's why it's used for toothbrushes, because it just lasts like forever. It lasts so long and it's really tough and strong. So this is why it's used often in toothbrushes, because it's exactly what you need. You need something hardy to use when you're brushing your teeth and something that's going to last. So that's why bamboo works really well. So as a signpostage in your garden, you know it's going to last for ages. So it can be used as that. You can use it to apply hair dye to your hair. So if you're using any of those natural dyes that I've used in the past, or if you're just using a normal dye, you can use the toothbrush to apply dye to your hair really easily, especially at the roots where it can be quite tough to get. This works really well, just to apply hair dye to your hair. You can use an old toothbrush to clean your bathroom, especially in areas that are hard to get to. In the bathroom, just in corners and nooks and crannies and things that you find really hard to get with a normal sponge or thing, or like cleaner brush. This works really well just to help clean those tough to get areas. So it could be on the countertop, between tiles, even in the plug hole or in the toilet. This can be your man to help you with that. It's even good for cleaning kitchen and bathroom grout. Simply load it up with some baking soda and scrub away, and it will help to remove those tough grout stains and things from your floor. An old toothbrush can be great for helping to clean up a comb. So you know how combs have teeth of their own, little bits sticking out to help comb your hair. This can be great to help clean off dust and dirt and debris that's on your brush and help keep it nice and clean, as it's really easy to get to all those bits between the teeth that are really like small. Just use a toothbrush to clean that away. An old toothbrush can be great as well for maintaining electrical items, so cleaning between keys on a keyboard on your computer. It's great for cleaning hairdryer vents and cleaning up the filter on vacuum cleaners. Wonderful for that as well. Just make sure it's dry when you go to use it towards any electrical items, because you don't want to mix water and electricity. An old toothbrush can be great for painting. It can be a fun, quirky way to create different paintings and drawings and things. So this can be a great way to spice up your artworks and things. And a toothbrush can also be great to clean up old sports gear and things. So get the mud out from between your soccer boots or clean up a bike chain. This can be really handy for that as well. But do share other ways you upcycle your old toothbrushes. If you do, we'd love to hear them. We'd love your suggestions. It's always great to get new ideas. Just if you do go to upcycle it, just make sure to sterilize it and sanitize it for a few minutes in boiling hot water, like I did earlier. I just did that before coming downstairs to do this tutorial with you guys. You want to make sure you want to sterilize and sanitize it before you go to use it for upcycling and things. Even if you go to recycle the bristles later, it's a good idea to sterilize it just to get any germs and bacteria off it. So that's what I do. I just leave them sitting in boiling hot water for a few minutes, and that just helps to kill any germs and things that might be on the toothbrushes. Damn, Daniel, it's hot. Step number 2 is to remove the bristles from the brush. So this bit here is actually not compostable nor biodegradable. That's the only part of the brush that isn't. Usually they also come in recyclable packaging, so like cardboard packaging, which you can recycle as well, or even put in your compost if the ink is like water ink based ink or vegetable based ink and things like that. That's much better for the earth, so you can recycle the packaging. But unfortunately the bristles just aren't biodegradable. Most bamboo toothbrushes have nylon 6 bristles, and that's just because they're found to be the best for cleaning teeth and last the longest, so they tend to use that. Otherwise, like, they haven't unfortunately found anything that's biodegradable to use for the bristles yet, but working on it, so hopefully soon. I have heard that pig hair can also be a substitute for bristles, but a lot of companies don't use it due to the ethical and environmental implications that come with it. So majority just use the nylon 6 bristles. So what that means is you have to remove the bristles by hand, but this isn't too tedious. You just simply can do it 2 ways. You can either get pliers, as these ones are. What have I done here? Oh. And pull the bristles out by hand, or you can just snap off the toothbrush head. But actually hard to snap it off by hand. You can like saw it off or get a hammer, but that mostly recommended just to pull the bristles out by hand. It's much easier and much less time consuming, and you're not putting so much effort into cutting the toothbrush head off. Once you've separated the bristles from the toothbrush, the bristles will actually go into your recycling. So that can be just your normal plastic recycling. Just pop them into, say, a plastic bag like this, which is what I'm going to keep my bristles in. So I'm going to pop them in there, and you can even just keep one packet until it's full up with bristles, rather than just using many different packets. And then you pop it in with your recycling, and it's off to the recycling place. So job done. You can also put them into a bottle or a carton or some other type of item you're going to recycle. So you could put them into an egg carton or a milk carton or another plastic bottle of some sort. And they do recommend doing that just because bristles are easily lost and they can end up being blown away and not end up at the recycling place. So put them into an item and then pop them in the recycling, and they're good to go. Now, if you have been able to reduce your plastic consumption all the way down to not even having any plastic items that you recycle, first of all, well done you. Oh, I take my hat off to you. I aspire to be where you are right now, so well done. And second of all, if you do have that, you can either collect, say, a plastic bottle or something you can put the bristles in on your trash walks, or when you're out walking, just make sure to clean it first. Or you can borrow a plastic item from, say, a friend or family member that you can just pop the bristles in, and you can even just keep that plastic item so you don't have to keep using more and more and more. You can keep that plastic item and just keep adding bristles to it until it's full, and then ship it off to the recycling place. So I'm going to get started on removing the bristles from this toothbrush with my pliers, and I'll be back to share with you the third and final step of how to dispose of your bamboo toothbrush in the right way.
So like I said, there are a couple of different ways you can remove the bristles. So you can pull them out with pliers, which is what I'm doing, or you can snap the whole toothbrush head off. Now if you're removing them with pliers, there's a bit of a trick to it. To make this process as easy as possible, don't try to pull out too many bristles at once, and use a slight rolling action to help wiggle them free of the handle. This will help to pull the bristles and the little metal staples out. Once separated, the bristles can go into your plastic recycling. I kept mine in an old egg carton just because they can get easily lost, so it's recommended to first put them inside another plastic item you're going to recycle, like a bottle or carton, packaging or other thing like that.
So I finished de-bristling the brushes. So as you can see, they're all now de-bristled. All done. It wasn't actually that hard. It's quite easy to pull out the bristles. You may need to twist it a little bit to pull out the bristles with the staples, but they're actually relatively easy to remove, especially when you have pliers like this. Makes the job so much easier. So I actually switched up halfway through where I was putting the bristles. I actually ended up putting it in a old egg carton just because it's much easier to get into the carton than it was to get into the plastic packet. And then once it's full, go recycle it. So tip number 3, once you've finished debristling the brush, if you're not upcycling the brushes and you've finished sterilizing the brushes, we're up to the third and final step. And that is to compost the bamboo handle, in my case handles. So they are 100% biodegradable, which is just great, which means they can break down in the compost. So it's recommended to be either put into your bio-waste bin or to be put into a commercial composting facility. So at commercial composting places, the temperature of the compost piles themselves are much higher than, say, your home compost, so they break down within weeks rather than months. So like I said before, bamboo is quite robust and rot resistant, which is why it's picked as a toothbrush. So they do take time to break down, but they will break down eventually. So you have a few options which I'll share with what you can do with them. So if you simply throw the bamboo handles into your garden, it may take as long as 5 to 10 years to fully break down. If buried horizontally in the soil, it may take up to 3 years to break down completely. If placed into your compost bin at home, it may take up to 4 to 6 months to fully decompose and break down. But that just depends on composition and the size of your bin. If you want to speed up the process a bit of it breaking down in your compost bin at home, just simply break the toothbrush up into smaller pieces by using either a hammer, a saw or other tool that you have at home, just to make them smaller, and helps the toothbrush to break down much faster. And if placed in a commercial composting facility compost pile, it may take only a few weeks to break down, as I said, because the temperature is higher and it's more active than your normal home compost bin. So that's the most ideal one, is to either put it into your bio-waste bin at home, so for us it's the green bin, or to take to a commercial composting facility where it only takes a few weeks to break down. I'm actually just going to put it into my own compost bin at home. I'm going to break them up into smaller pieces and then put them in my compost bin and just let it break down over time. I don't mind having bits of like toothbrushes in my bin because I have 2, so I'll just put it into one bin that I don't really use and allow that to break down over time. So within 6 months it shall be gone, hopefully, if the conditions are just perfect. Otherwise, if they're still there over time and they haven't really broken down too much, I'll just transfer them to our green bin, our bio-waste bin, and they'll be shipped off to a commercial composting facility. And that's it. That's how you dispose of a bamboo toothbrush properly. I hope you guys enjoyed today's little live tutorial guide on how to dispose and compost your bamboo toothbrush in the right way. If you have any other suggestions of what you do with your toothbrushes, your biodegradable toothbrushes or bamboo toothbrushes, please share in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. If you have upcycling tips on what you do with old toothbrushes, we'd love to hear them as well. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching and sticking to the end. Again, the step-by-step guide will be in the description below in a blog post. I'll link it down below where I share all the tips on how to do it and more if you're interested. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Thank you so much for joining me today and just sharing this experience with me. I love sharing these things with you guys, and I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope to see you again in my future videos. Bye.
Even if I tried, even if I wanted to, and I can't change.